Back in 2008, the film industry changed forever when a little film called The Dark Knight was released. Christopher Nolan's sequel to the popular Batman Begins was an instant classic, and to this day remains one of the most well-respected films of all time. This is helped by fantastic performances from pretty much every actor on screen, the typical incredible writing you'd expect from Nolan, and the stellar cinematography of his works as well. And for 14 years, The Dark Knight stood uncontested as the best adaptation of the Caped Crusader ever seen on the big screen. Then 2022 came around. Matt Reeves' The Batman, while certainly not dethroning The Dark Knight, is still talked about and considered as the best Batman movie of all time. In any comment section related to either movie, you'll find fans going back and forth about which one they like more, and usually it never goes anywhere. Regardless, it's undeniable the quality of the newest cinematic depiction of the world's greatest detective. Truthfully, I would be here all day if I analyzed the full length of the film because there really is just that much good stuff to say about it. So instead, I chose one scene that I think perfectly captures the essence of the Batman. There's a number of different scenes throughout the film that could have perfectly encapsulated the soul of the movie, but the one I chose to analyze is the scene at Arkham. This scene checks every box, whether it's the acting, the portrayal of Batman as a character, the music, the story, and especially the cinematography. For context, this scene takes place right before the climax of the film. The Riddler has just given himself up and is locked in Arkham, where he requests to see Batman. The Caped Crusader arrives, and the whole scene is just a conversation between the two characters. While this conversation might seem boring and an otherwise lengthy way to get Batman to go back to the Riddler's apartment, like Batman himself, there's a lot of layers the more you look into it. So, let's start at the beginning. The scene opens with Batman standing in the dark while the Riddler sits underneath the light. I like to think of this as the Riddler being seen. He emphasizes during this scene that he wants to be remembered and that for the first time in his life he's actually being seen by the world. And here, unmasked, he sits underneath the light in clear view. Batman, on the other hand, is in the shadows. Part of this is because he's Batman and he's just cool like that, but I also think it's Batman using the shadows to his advantage. It's an intimidation tactic because Batman just naturally becomes a lot scarier when he's in the dark. The first part of the scene stays this way, neither character moving very much. Riddler mentions how he's felt invisible for his whole life, which again is juxtaposed by the bright light illuminating him now. However, it's when the Riddler starts saying Bruce Wayne's name that the dynamic changes. Batman's facial expression shifts from a more confident complexion to something that's more riddled with shyness. Despite being beneath a mask, the audience can visibly see how uncomfortable Batman is right now. Batman is fully convinced that the Riddler has figured out his secret, and he has no idea what to do about it. His eyes stare at the ground, his head shifts away from the Riddler, and sort of just stares off at the floor. His demeanor goes from confident to uncomfortable very quickly, and his position within the shadow, despite physically remaining in the same spot, changes as well. Now he's not using the shadow as a weapon, he's hiding in it. Batman is stiff and rigid, staying perfectly still, while the Riddler moves around and sways, further juxtaposing the two. If you watch the scene without audio, which I did accidentally, because my AirPods died, the Riddler looks far more relaxed than Batman. When the unsettling tone of the Riddler's voice is absent, he looks very composed. His body sways naturally as he talks, the words come out clear, and there's no sense that he doesn't feel comfortable. Compared to Batman, who stands there solid and still. In the close-up shots, you can see how uncontrollable Batman's head seems to move, especially in comparison to the Riddler's. Instead of the Riddler's more gentle sways, Batman's head sort of jerks and twitches. And then the Riddler refers to Bruce Wayne in the third person, saying, quote, "He's the only one we didn't get." At this, Batman realizes his identity stays hidden, and his posture rebuilds itself. Instantly, his eyes flick upwards, his head rises back up, and the nervous look from before vanishes. Confidence has returned to Batman, along with his weaponization of the shadows. But he no longer needs the shadows. Emerging from the darkness, Batman steps into the light, directly across from the Riddler. As he approaches, he looms over the Riddler, showing his superiority. And here, the dialogue becomes the most important, as the Riddler talks about masks. He explains how Batman is the real person behind the mask, not Bruce Wayne, which is a theme common throughout the rest of the film. The idea that Bruce has become so consumed by being the Dark Knight that he has lost himself altogether. This is a much more emphasized topic in other scenes, particularly between Alfred and Bruce, but it's still cool to see such a common Batman theme reiterated by a villain, of all people. And the Riddler is not completely wrong. One of the biggest complaints about the film as a whole was the lack of Bruce Wayne. For as great of a Batman that Robert Pattinson plays, a huge part of the character of Batman is juggling the superhero life with that of a playboy billionaire, and that seems absent from Matt Reeves' adaptation. But it's in fact intentional. There is, objectively, not a lot of typical Bruce Wayne scenes, but there are still plenty of him as a character. During the daytime, Bruce rides around on his motorcycle, usually scouting people or places for his evening counterpart. Literally, Bruce is so consumed by Batman that he spends all of his time doing it, day and night. The next big change happens when the Riddler stands up. Here, he's talking about how both himself and Batman have been working together. He attempts to equalize the two by physically getting onto Batman's level. Instead of Batman standing above him, they now look at each other eye to eye from across the glass. This is sort of ironic, because for as many parallels as both characters are given throughout the film, this scene fights to juxtapose them a lot. Both characters never seem to be equal, whether it's in physical standing between the light and shadows, or their comfort within the conversation, or even the knowledge they have about one another. This is where Batman steps in, as he won't allow them to see eye to eye. He calls the Riddler insane, sick, and twisted in the head, and it works. The Riddler retreats, falling back into the darkness himself. And here, because he isn't Batman, he cannot use the shadows as a weapon, and so he hides. He loses his calm, relaxed composure as he starts screaming. In every way, he is put on his heels and pushed back. Moreover, Batman's expression has changed. It's no longer empty and neutral, but full of intensity and anger. His confidence is at its highest, and he is terrifying. And then the discovery is made that Batman missed something. A simple clue that the Riddler left that wasn't hidden, that Batman should have found. Instantly, Batman's expression changes once more. The intensity leaves his eyes as they widen, and he raises his head in apprehension. And the Riddler emerges once again from the darkness, back into the light, back to an equal standing with Batman. His final comments berate Batman's ego and show complete control once again. His maniacal cries are gone, and once again he's calm and collected. The scene concludes with the Riddler singing Ave Maria, a tune that appears multiple times throughout the film. This song has a lot of importance in the film as a whole, but within this scene particularly, it has a couple of meanings. One, the Riddler sees himself as a saint and a savior of Gotham, ridding it of its corruption. His final plan, blowing up the city's seawall and flooding it, is about to go through. Ave Maria, a song generally about saints and angels, reflects how the Riddler sees himself. And if you didn't already put it together, the flooding of Gotham is eerily similar to the Great Flood in the Bible. Furthermore, the words Ave Maria, when translated into Latin, mean Hail Mary. A Hail Mary is a seemingly impossible final effort, a risk it all for a chance at victory. That's exactly what Batman is. He is Gotham's Hail Mary. The police are helpless against the flood and the chaos of the attacks, and Batman is the city's only remaining hope at survival. The last part of the scene is Batman punching the glass between the two, finally signaling that the Riddler has won. The intimidating confidence that Batman entered the room with is gone, and all that is left is the basic rage that drove Batman at the beginning of the film, the rage that he works to extinguish by the end. The development as a character that Batman has gone through up until this point is scrapped, and he is reduced to his basic, anger-fueled self. I think this scene really just addresses everything I love in this movie. It's got incredible acting, dialogue, symbolism, the story twist, if you want to call it that, is great, and the score, which I didn't even mention, is fantastic. There's even a little nod to classic Batman tropes, that the Riddler always believes he has a superior mind to Batman's, something that's hinted at through his comments about giving Batman too much credit. Batman as a character is portrayed super well here, as he's unrelenting and mysterious while keeping that violent nature. There are a lot of amazing scenes throughout the film, but I feel like this one in particular really achieves everything in one tiny little Arkham Asylum room. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.